G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of GPU Hash. Today we are road testing the GTX 1660 Super versus the GTX 1660 Ti. They are very similar cards. The power usage is extremely low. They're probably the two most ultra efficient cards you can buy for mining. They use around 70 to 75 watts and they produce around the 28 to 30 mega hash on the F hash algorithm, which is very good for the money you spend. Here in Australia you can get one of these, a 1660 Ti you can get for around $7.99, and the 1660 Super is about another $100 more, so it's about $8.99 for a 1660 Super. So what we want to see today is if it's worth spending the extra $100 on the Super, or whether the Ti can keep up or even be better than the Super for $100 less. Specifically if you're building a mining rig with 5 or 6 of these, you could potentially save yourself $500-600 if the Ti is able to keep up or even exceed what the Super can do. As a general consensus, the 1660 Super is the one that people go for. But the Ti, we want to see today whether the Ti can keep up with the Super. So what we've done is I've created a little spreadsheet here, and we're going to test all 6 of these algorithms, and we'll test for 30 minutes each algorithm, how many mega hash and the amount of watts it's used, and we're going to grade its efficiency by the amount of shares that are accepted, because most software out there, most people will grade their efficiency by they'll divide the mega hash they're getting versus divided by the watts that it's pulling. But I find that that's not really that accurate, because it's all about shares accepted, because that's how you get paid. You don't get paid on mega hash. So it's not as accurate measuring the mega hash or the efficiency based on the mega hash. It's more accurate measuring the efficiency with the watts divided by accepted shares, because that is exactly how you get paid. So we'll do that today across all 6 of these algorithms. Okay, so we're going to be using NiceHash today. So I will show you how to use that. If you haven't already, download it if you want to try this with your own card. So if we just head over to plugins, today we're going to use Excavator, and we're going to use Gminer, and we're going to use NVMiner. In fact, I'm going to uninstall. You can just hit uninstall, because I don't want to actually use Excavator today. I want to use Gminer, and I want to use NVMiner. So Gminer, if you just hit details here, Gminer can do Zash, Kapow, Cycle, Kapow, Beam3, and Mega Hashimoto. So they're the ones that we're going to test today. The only one it doesn't do is Octopus, which is why we are using NVMiner as well, because NVMiner does support Octopus. So we'll do that. So once you've done that, head over to benchmark, and then for each card, you've got the 1660 Super here and the 1660 Ti. We're just going to untick select all, and we're going to just go with the first one, which is Dagger Hashimoto, which is Ethash, which is the most common. So we'll just enable that one for the 1660 Super, and we'll come over to the Ti, disable all, and we'll just enable the one Dagger Hashimoto using Gminer. And it roughly tells you the mega hash that you can expect. So 29.5 for the Ti, and let's have a look at the Super, 31.4. So using Gminer, it should give you an extra 2 mega hash for the 1660 Super as opposed to the TI, but let's see how they perform. So once you've done that, just the start mining button, and the miner should show up pretty soon. Here we go. And we'll start the timer once we get our first accepted share. And there we go, 66, that's in 67, 69, that's more like it. Here we go, so it's at 31.5 and 30.28. Alright, first share accepted, let's start the clock. At the countdown of 30 minutes. You can see I have set them both cards are set to 56 power limit, 135 on the core clock and 1135 on the memory clock. It's just a very common setting for these cards to be able to get around the 30 mega hash, which you can see we have. The Super seems to have dropped a little bit, but it has accepted 2 shares versus the TI none just yet. But I would say that that'll take a little while to settle down. That's why we test for 30 minutes and not for 1 minute. It seems to have settled at 28.4 for the Super and 30.28 for the TI. So it looks to like the TI a little bit better as far as mega hash. But the Super is using 3 watts less and has already accepted 2 more shares. So it is interesting that, and again, this might prove the theory that it's not always necessarily the more mega hash you have, the more accepted shares you're going to get. The higher the probability, yes, but not always. It's not an exact science. So it's always good to see where your card is happy and where it sits nicely, accepting the most amount of shares as possible. That's what you want. Well, we'll check back here in 28 minutes and we'll see how this one goes, and we will move to the next algorithm once we get a finding. See you soon. Okay, as we finish up that 30 minutes there, we'll see that the 1660 Ti easily outperformed the 1660 Super in this test. You'll see that this is the efficiency reading that the software is giving you, but this efficiency is wattage divided by mega hash, but we want to be able to actually use the wattage divided by accepted shares, so it will give us a more accurate reading of what our efficiency really is. Okay, so let's put in the details here. So the 1660 Super was 27.88 and was using 69 watts, and it accepted, where are we, 80 shares, and the 1660 Ti was at 30.27 at 73 watts, so it used an extra 4 watts, which is fine, but 95 accepted shares, which is fantastic. Right, I'm just going to pause this, I'm just going to stop this, that's why I left it running. So with our efficiency here, we're getting 1.3 accepted shares per watt that's being used, and don't forget this is actually per hour. Okay, these readings are per hour is the wattage it's using, but it's accepting 1.3 shares per watt as opposed to 1.15. So I think we can give the TI the winner here. So let's put an X in the TI column, and let's move across to the Kapow cycle algorithm. So we'll come down to benchmark here again, and put that little arrow down, and we're going to disable data hash, and we're going to enable Kapow cycle. And we're going to do the same for the TI. disabled data hash motor, and we're going to enable Kapow cycle. Come back to here and hit the button, and it should bring up a box very soon. There we go. And so you can see here it's doing Kapow 29, and as soon as we get an accepted share, we will hit the start button, and it'll be interesting to see who wins this one. So far we've had a nice good win for the TI in the Dagger hash, and like I said, the TI is actually $100 cheaper card. So here we go, there's an accepted share. Let's start the clock. Now this is a very different algorithm altogether. So the speed is going to be a bit different. So we're talking about giga hashes here, but let's keep it all in mega hash. So we are comparing apples and apples. So it looks like off the bat the TI is getting an extra giga hash per second than the 1660 Super, which is very interesting. At the relatively same wattage as well. Lots of pre-accepted shares, which is fantastic. So let's check back here in half an hour and see how the two cards perform. Alright, there we go. So after 30 minutes of Kapow cycle, once again the 1660 Ti has dominated. So let's just quickly write these in. So the Super is at, where are we? 3.97 gigahash, so we'll call that 3,970 megahash. At 69 watts, and shares accepted were 56, and the TI accepted 74 shares at 72 watts, and was 4,930 megahash. So you can see yet again, TI wins out the cheaper card on this algorithm. So we'll give the TI the win, and we will pause this, and we will set up Kapow as the next one. Now Kapow uses again a very different algorithm. So let's go back to our benchmark, to the first card here, and we're going to turn off Kapow, and we're going to turn on Kapow, and then we'll head up to our 1660 Ti, turn off Kapow, and we'll turn on Kapow. And start her up again. Okay. And as you can see, again, we're using Kapow, and we will set the timer again once the first share is accepted. Again, you can see the TI seems to be much better than the Super again, which is interesting. There you go, there's the first share accepted, so we'll start the timer, and we'll be back here in half an hour, see how we go. Okay, so we can see once again that the TI has outperformed the Super. The Super came in at 10.45 megahash for 46 shares accepted, and the TI came in at 13.1, 66 shares accepted. So let's just write that one in. So 10.45 mega hash at 70 watts gave us 46 accepted shares. It's an efficiency of 0.65, which isn't great. The TI was 13.01 with 73 watts, so again another 3 watts, but gave us 67 accepted shares, which is getting closer to the one accepted share per watt, which is what you want. So again, I think we have to give the win to the TI. That's 3-0 so far. Let's move to the next one. So Beam to B3. So again, we'll pause that. Come back to our benchmarks. We'll turn off Kapow. Let's use T-Miner because we've been doing it all that time. So we'll go back to our TI here. Turn off MB Miner. Go back to T-Miner here. Alright. And we'll start again. There we go. So beam hash now. Oh, we've already got a share accepted, so let's start our clock. And the beam v3 algorithm works in solutions, not in mega hash, so this is solutions per second. So again, straight away you can see the 1660 Ti looks to do a little bit better in this than the Super does, which is very surprising given that the Super actually costs another $100. So far I think the Ti is the way to go, but let's see how we go. It's just readjusting here, so we have 14.8 for the Super and 17.6 for the TI. Catch you back here in half an hour and see how it's fared. Alright, so this next half an hour draws to a close. It looks to be pretty neck and neck, but I think we still have to give the win to the 1660 Ti. Came out with 10 more shares, an extra 3 mega hash, used an extra 3 watts, which is fine. Yeah, that's definitely looking like Ti is going to win there as well. So let's just put these numbers in. So the 1660 Super, I'll just let it give me the next reading. Here we go. So we're at 13.1, and it used 70 watts, and we accepted 40 shares, and the TI is 16.1, and we accepted 52 shares. Oops, sorry. This 70 watts, 73 watts, and we accepted 52 shares. So again, we have to give the win to the TI. Let's move on to the next one. Now Octopus does not run through Gminer, it operates through MB Miner. So go back to our benchmarks. We'll turn off this one here, and Octopus is the very last one. This game's run by MB Miner. Turn that on, and then for the other card as well, we'll turn beam off, and right down the bottom, there we go. And we'll start that again. There we go, this is MB Miner. 2 cards, the Super and the TI. Now this is a very different kind of algorithm. It's a lot slower in the way that it finds shares, but I believe the shares are worth a bit more, so we might only see maybe 15 or 20, 25 maybe each throughout the half an hour, so I would say it would probably do less than 1 share found per minute, which is totally normal for this card. So look, there's this first accepted share, so we'll start the button. So 21 mega hash for the 1660 Super, and 24.4 for the TI. So again, that's given an extra 3 mega hash. Let's see if that makes any difference at all as far as how many shares are accepted. The first share accepted is actually by the 1660 Super. There's another share there. That is also by the Super. So we're up to 2-0. We'll catch you back here in half an hour and we'll see what the results are of this particular exercise. Okay, so is this half an hour drew to a close? Some surprising results. The 1660 Super, I think we have to give that the win. Only 19.85 mega hash, but found 18 shares. The TI was at 24.5 mega hash, but only found 16. So I think we'll give the Super the win on the Octopus algorithm. Put those numbers in. So 19.69 at how many watts do we use? 70 watts. We found there's another 2 for the Super, but we've run out of time. So we found 18 shares, and we had 24.49 on the TI at 72 watts, but only found 16 shares. So we'll narrowly give the win to the Super here. And we will move on to the last one, which is Zash. Zash is run by Gminer, so we can go back to our Gminer miner. So Zash. Here we go, and for the TI Zash, we'll turn it on. Okay, and here we go. Very last one. There we go. So we have Equihash, which is the Zash algorithm. So you can mine stuff like Flux on Equihash. And as usual, as soon as we see our first share, we'll start the clock. There you go, share accepted. Start the clock, and so let's see how this one goes. We'll see you back in half an hour. Okay, so as we wind down to the end here, what a massive win for the 1660 Ti. 40.4 solutions per second. 29.2 for the 1660 Super. So the TI is definitely pretty much the same power. The TI definitely likes the Equihash or the Zash algorithm. So let's put some numbers in and make a conclusion. So the 1660 Super, 29.3 solutions per second at 70 watts, accepted 44 shares, and the 1660 Ti at 40.5, 73 watts, and we accepted 88 shares. So literally double the amount of shares, which definitely gives the TI the win. So we'll give the TI the win officially there, and we'll turn this off. So obviously you can see the 1660 Super had one win. Did it have one win? Yes, it had one win, which was the Octopus. Not by much either. That's only by 2 shares accepted. But like I said at the start of the video, the 1660 Ti is about $100. By the time of recording, it's about $100 less per card. And as you can see, we're getting a lot more efficiency and a lot more accepted shares out of the Ti than we are of the Super. So it looks like the Ti is definitely the best one to buy. Especially if you're building a rig, you've got 4 or 5 or 6 of these, you could save $500 or $600 and put that, towards your electricity for a month or two to pay for it. So yeah, look, this is the end of the video, but if you've got something out of this, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, hit the like button and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot of other videos on a lot of other cards. Please check them out. And if there's any other videos that you'd like me to do something similar to this on any card that you've got, or you'd like to compare the two, leave me a comment. I will get to all the comments, and yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, really appreciate you watching, and catch you in the next one.